Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. If you're new here, my name is Noura, accounting and tax professional and the founder of Noura's Books. I have an awesome guest today that we're gonna talk to you about clergy benefits and the IRS rules. I have Jamison Davis with me. Thank you so much, Jamison, for coming today and talking to me and have everyone benefit from the information you have and what you guys do at the Guardian Wealth Management for the certain issues. So I'll let you introduce yourself so for people to know you more.
Great. Hey, thanks for having me today. Yes, Jamison with Guardian Wealth Management. We help churches and pastors with both 403(b)(9) church retirement plans, group health benefits, insurance solutions for nonprofits, as well as we do personal financial planning for pastors. And so really any religious 501c3 or anyone who is deemed a minister by the IRS code, those are the people that we live to serve.
Awesome. So what do you do? What do you think people don't know about these benefits and you really want them to know today?
Yeah. So really the biggest thing for anyone that is a member of the classifies himself as a clergy member or a religious worker or a minister or pastor, any of those titles, you have the most advantageous tax code of any profession in America. And unfortunately, most people do not know this. Most pastors do not know the unique tax code that they're able to leverage in order to really receive tax-free living while you're working and also receive tax-free income in retirement. And unfortunately, most financial advisors do not know about the intricacies of this unique tax code, CPAs, tax attorneys, etc. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's so great that I got to connect with you, Noura, and we're in the same world. We're helping nonprofits navigate really one of the most advantageous parts of our tax code, and it's about education. So we're here to just educate folks on the benefits that they have and they can utilize in order to maximize the amount of dollars that they're able to keep for themselves and their families, and also in retirement.
Yeah, awesome. Like you said, Jamison, this is the very missing part. No one wants to dig more in nonprofit. They think everything applies to any business or any of us will apply for nonprofit, or also anything applies to nonprofit will apply to churches, mosques, and other religious institutions, while it's not really the case. There's entire section at the IRS website about exempt organization and a lot of publications about churches, mosques, and other religious institutions. And even some of the rules, we were talking before, some of the rules actually do not apply for every single nonprofit or every religious institution. So if something applies to churches, that might not apply for mosques and all of these. So it's a lot of things to learn, a lot of things that people need to be educated on, and a lot of people don't go the route of learning. Actually, I did pass my enrolled agent exam, and there's very minimal about nonprofit overall. And also the CPA exam does not really cover nonprofit. They have a very, very short section, and that does not cover religious institutions or clergy pay or any of that. So I'm glad that we get to connect and talk about this and have people know more about it and get educated so they can save money and do things right.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Well, that's what we find. Unfortunately, I typically get a phone call when someone is, let's say, 65, they're ready to retire, and I can certainly help them. But unfortunately, by the time they're 65, they probably made a lot of mistakes along the way. And I wish I was able to talk to them when they were just getting into ministry or starting to work for the church or the temple or whatever it may be, and educate them on how to do it correctly. And so there's vastly some common mistakes that people make across the board. And sometimes we're able to unwind those and kind of fix them. Other times we're not. And so that's where we love, hey, thank you for the opportunity to be on your live stream today, just to educate folks. And I'd love to, if I can help one person avoid one of those common mistakes that ministers make, well, then it's worth our time today.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Brittany. So if you have any question, please put your question below. And thank you so much for watching. And we're going to go more about I'm very excited to hear from you about the 4013 plan. If you want to go more, I know I didn't say the complete name, so I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the mistakes that ministers make is that they don't save in a properly structured 403b-9 church plan. They get advice from their current financial advisor, or they do it on their own. And I can tell you, I've made every mistake you can make, because I've been a financial advisor for over 20 years now. But for about 10 years, I was bivocational. I was a full-time pastor at my church and also financial advisor. I thought I knew what I was doing, yet I still made every mistake you can make. And so one big mistake is when pastors save outside of a 403b-9 church retirement plan, or perhaps their church or their denomination or their tradition does have a properly structured 403b-9 plan. And I'll talk in a minute why it's different from a 401k or 403b-7. But oftentimes folks will save in that structure, but then they'll work with a local financial advisor and roll those funds into an individual retirement account. And what they just did was negate their opportunity to take tax-free housing allowance distributions in retirement. And that's the biggest benefit to ministers in this country, is the thing around housing allowance. So if you are deemed a minister by the IRS code in publication 517, you are able to deduct off your gross income any costs associated with owning or operating a home. So your mortgage, your interest, your cleaning supplies, your lawn care, the pest control, etc., all that can come off your gross income. And a lot of folks don't realize that they can receive that same benefit in retirement after they're done working for their religious organization. And so a 403b-9 is the best retirement plan for ministers. It is a non-ERISA plan, meaning you don't have to be held to some of the ERISA guidelines, like doing the 5,500 filing every year for your plan. You don't need to do that. That's a cost savings there. You don't have to stay within the ERISA contribution limits. And so if you're over 50 in a 403b-9, you can contribute up to $67,500 between your employer and employee contribution. That's super helpful as folks get closer to retirement and they want to save more and be able to have a successful retirement. You can discriminate in the plan, meaning that you can pay people differently. And so if you want to retain that succession plan, that up and coming leader in your religious organization, and say, hey, we're going to overfund your retirement if you stay with us and take over in 10 years. You can reward your pastor or your leader that built the organization. Maybe they built the building, and hey, when you started, there wasn't a lot of funds in the nonprofit to pay this person appropriately, but you fast forward 20 years, now there is. And so let's supercharge that person's retirement and be able to send them on their way and have a successful retirement. So there's lots of benefits, but the biggest one is that it is the only place that I'm aware of, and Nora, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the only place in the tax code where you can defer completely tax-free. It grows tax-free and comes out completely tax-free. You never pay a dime of taxes. And so when you defer into the 403b-9, you don't pay federal, you don't pay state, you don't pay payroll taxes on any contributions. It grows tax deferred and comes out tax-free to the extent you can claim it as housing allowance in retirement. That's why everyone should take a look at, does your church or organization have a properly structured 403b9, not a 7, not a 3, not a TSA, not a 401k, but a 403b9.
And do you have a group plan and individual plan, or how do you have?
Yep. So here at Guardian Wealth Management, we will set up for an organization their own plan. We will customize it to the nonprofit, to the church, to the religious organization. We have 290 money managers on the platform, and so we can craft something that is appropriate for you, including quote unquote biblically responsible investment models, if that's something that's important, or ESG investing. And then we also have what's called a multiple employer plan. And so we use this if you have a small organization, maybe it's just you or one other person, but you qualify, you're a nonprofit, religious nonprofit, you qualify as a minister according to the IRS code. And if you're curious about that, we'd love to talk to you about that, help you determine, do you qualify? And then we have a multiple employer plan that you can participate in along with thousands of other smaller nonprofits. So you can still have access to a robust plan, even though you're a very small nonprofit.
Yeah, that's awesome. And this is very important. A lot of people are still confused about how should they be classified in general, let alone with the minister and everyone. Like even with minister, you can be classified as on W-2 or 1099. It depends. Also, you have to really take a look at that and apply that rules to see where are you at. So like it's a lot of things to look at, and it cannot be answered actually in this video because each case is different. So we have to really look at the case by case, who is qualified for what, and what's the proper way to get paid, and also if you are eligible to get exempt from the Social Security, Medicare, and federal income tax, based on what are you doing exactly and what you qualify for. So this is really important. And what else, what other than this plan, like you offer for nonprofit and churches, other religious institutions?
Yeah, so we can help bring other solutions to the table in addition to the group retirement plan, in addition to personal financial planning for ministers. We can help provide group benefits, group health, group life, etc., and also help you save money on your commercial property casualty insurance. And so we have a number of relationships in both of those areas where we bring in our partners. They will take a look at what you have, and we've been pretty successful at saving folks a lot of money. And then our hope is that you can put that back into hiring, back into staffing, into raises, and helping your folks have a successful retirement.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Okay, what else do you think, like how people can connect to you? Like we're gonna talk about this more like at the end, but like I just wanna let people know how can they connect to you, and we have a lot more like to talk about, so stay with us. Like, and if you have any question, please put it down below and we'll be happy to answer your question. So yeah, God, how can they connect with you? Do they talk to you directly or?
Yep. So I work directly with our clients, with plan administrators, but also with individuals and their personal planning needs. I have a team of folks. We have a paraplanner, we have an investment desk, we have an insurance desk. We have a couple offices across the country. I'm actually in my home office today. Then we on the west side of Phoenix, and our office here is on the north side of Scottsdale. And then we have an office in Dallas, and then a number of independent advisors that contract us just to serve pastors and churches, and they're all over the country. And so, but if you can go to guardianwm.com, and there's email address there, info@guardianwm.com. That comes to me. My phone number is on there. And we have a lot of resources that we'd love to get into pastors' hands, ministers' hands, clergy, religious workers. One of them is, it can be really daunting kind of reading the IRS code. Now, this is publication 517. This has a lot of valuable information, but it's kind of your eyes go cross-eyed, but that's okay. That's why Nora and I have job security. We're here to serve and help you navigate this code. But what we did was kind of distill it down into a more digestible white paper, tax considerations for ministers. And so if you email me that, I'm happy to send you this white paper. Has a lot of great information in it, including in the back. It has the thing that probably most people find really helpful is how to determine your housing allowance benefit. So we have a worksheet that helps you navigate. There's 3 ways the IRS will allow you to say, hey, this is how much it costs for me to own and operate a home. And it has to be the lesser of 3. And we can walk you through those things and help you decide which way is best for you. And then if you are a ministry leader, you are looking for value add at your next district meeting or regional meeting or conference. I know I'm on the road. It's a sprint till Thanksgiving. That's why I'm about to jump on a plane. So thanks for letting me do this from home in a polo. But I speak at church conferences all over the country, all fall, all spring. And we do educational workshops. So we'd love to come to your church, to your nonprofit. We buy lunch and we have a number of presentations and workshops that we do. One of them is the 3 money mistakes ministers make. And we present, and then we have a workbook that people can work through and help figure out how to utilize the resources that they have for the maximum benefit today while they're working, and also in retirement. And so you mentioned, hey, are you eligible for opting out of Social Security and things of that nature? So if you don't know, if you're classified as a minister, you can be a conscientious objector to social insurance, which includes Social Security, Medicare. And so we talk about a lot of folks opted out of Social Security but unknowingly opted out of Medicare as well. And so that's one thing that we have to combat often when we work with folks. So we'll work with the organization, we'll present a lot of value, but then we'll meet with individuals who have made some of these mistakes along the way and help them find strategies to overcome them. Like if you opted out of Social Security and you opted out of Medicare, oftentimes you might find yourself, you're 65, and you want to retire, but you opt out of Social Security, you opted out of Medicare, you don't have health insurance, the church or organization didn't save enough for you, you didn't save quite enough. That is a common struggle and a common conversation. So that is you. Please do not be embarrassed, but you absolutely need to reach out to us because we are here to help you specifically.
Yeah, how does it look like when people come to you? Like, what's the first step they want to do? Like, how's the process look like? What's the cost like? Or is if they just come to ask, or like what's the step? How does that look like?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we just start with a conversation. We want to get to know you, understand your context, understand your story. Where'd you come from? What's it look like today? What do we want to see happen in the future? And maybe that's, hey, people say, I'm going to do this till the day I die. I don't believe in retirement. I'm not going to retire. We're out here changing the world. And we want to help you do that and not worry about money along the way, not worry about raising funds along the way, not worrying about health insurance and all of those things that we all still worry about, whether we want to retire tomorrow or we never want to retire. And so we have that conversation, and then we take all the data. So we'll ask everything about your life, your ministry, but also the nuts and bolts and where's the money and what kind of goals, financial goals do we have? And we put all that into our financial planning software. And we've created a custom software that takes into account housing allowance. That is a major benefit to you as a minister. And so we help calculate how can we maximize our housing allowance today, but also how can we maximize those tax-free dollars that come in the form of housing allowance in retirement. And so I would say I've never met anyone that got into ministry for money. Nobody does it for money. And so therefore we can't really control the hand that we were dealt monetarily, but we can play those cards differently to maximize our retirement and the life that we have today, providing for our families, for our spouses, if we have the knowledge to do so, if we can understand that tax code and bring it to bear beneficially in our lives.
Yeah. So yeah, no one comes to that for money, but money is important because you want to provide for yourself, for your family. You want to be able to focus really on your mission and what you want to do for your community, for your church, for your religious institution. Not only not focus on how to put food in your on your table. So it is important, and it is important to have that, like, until the day that you return to God. So yeah, this is very important. Thank you so much for doing this, because this education is really important. And like, so people, if they want you to speak or do a workshop, do they reach out to you on the same email?
Yep, absolutely. So Jamison, JAMISON .Davis at guardianwm.com is my personal email account. The phone number on the website is my personal phone. It comes directly to me. And if that is something that'd be beneficial to the organization, there is no cost. We don't charge anything. We exist to serve and educate those that are in ministry. And we want to help them have a successful life today, but also retirement tomorrow.
And do you help people nationwide, or do you just okay, so nationwide? There's nothing. Okay.
I don't go to North Dakota in February, but other than that, we have clients, I think, in over 40 states. Last week I was in Connecticut, DC, Omaha, Nebraska. The coming week I'll be in a couple places, Austin, Dallas. The week after that we're in California. And so it's wherever folks want some help. We obviously do a lot of Zoom now since COVID. But yeah, we're happy to get on planes, trains, and automobiles and come to the people that need to hear this.
Awesome. That is great. What else do you want to leave people with today? Like,
yeah, I would say I've never met a seminary, a Bible college, a church, a temple, individual pastor or minister, or someone working for a religious 501c. I've never met anyone that has gotten it 100% correct. And I think there are so many really smart people out there that probably sit on your board, that are your key volunteers or financial donors. And I would say that they unfortunately don't understand the tax code in its complete form around nonprofits and ministers. And so I would say, I would challenge anybody, even if they're listening to this and they think, you know what, I'm all set. We would love just to have a conversation and give you the peace of mind and confirmation. Yes, you are all set. But chances are there's probably one or two things that we just haven't done completely correct. And we'd be happy to help correct those things, whether it's, do we have a properly structured 403b-9? Are we actually hurting our staff with housing allowance? We find that not maximizing the housing allowance while folks are working, it's often not their fault, but actually the organization has throttled their ability down to maximize those housing allowance dollars. And so we can help fix that and tell you, what does it say in the IRS code? We see that people are not maximizing their retirement contributions because they don't know. They think they still operate by the ERISA guidelines of, if you're under 50, the most you can put into a plan is $20,500. And for those that need to supercharge their retirement and get ready, well, they're going to need to put more away probably. We talk about folks who have opted out of Social Security and social insurance, and maybe they're kind of regretting that. Now, if you absolutely are a conscientious objector, we support you. But if not, we can help you with strategies to get back. So at the end of the day, whether you think you're all set or you've made every mistake in the book like I did, we would love to help you, whether affirm, yes, you are all set, or no, here's the places that we can come alongside of you and help you fix.
Yeah, that's awesome and very important. There's like this today now, we see everyone reaching down, like, you don't see just like a general tax professional or, something like, because there's so much to dig into with the IRS code and all these laws, especially with the last few years, like everything changing. You need someone to really like mastering that publications, the new laws that comes, like every single code. And like you said, like all of us like make mistakes, but this is how we learn. And if we haven't made those mistakes, like we will not learn. And there's no shame on that. Like we do mistakes every day in our personal life and with these codes and stuff. And like there's nothing that cannot be well, maybe some stuff cannot be corrected, but at least you can you can at least fix as much as possible, or like minimize the damage that can happen from anything. So this is really important. It's really important to talk about it now, especially we are almost on October and the year is ending. And if there is any opportunity to make things right, to take advantage of that, take advantage of what's going on and what's the tax code there for. Like actually, like a lot of people like just don't like tax code because they don't understand it, while they can really get benefit from what is there for their certain cases. Like when we do taxes, like every single situation is unique. There is no client has the same exact situation with the other client. Everyone is unique, and everyone, like every tax return has to be researched and see like, okay, well, okay, this is the case, so now what? So you need to really like take advantage of the what is there for you to take advantage of. Like, like there's people like sometimes like they just go and, oh, I don't want to report this, I don't want to report this. It's more beneficial for you to report and take advantage of the other stuff. So like this is what we tell people all the time. So education is really important, and I'm very thankful to you, like to willing and to come here and educate people and let them know about all this good stuff that you tell them. And like I'm telling you guys, if whether you're watching now or watching later in the replay, make sure you reach out to Jamison to have benefit of this conversation, like see what you are doing right, what you are doing wrong, how can you correct it, and you make the decision if you want to correct or not. But at least like if you have that conversation, you will know what's going on. Like whatever you decide to do, it's your call. It's now to prepare for your taxes. It's now to do anything that you are planning to do for yourself or your organization. Also, we will put that information to connect with Jamison like under in the description for this video when we're done and save it. So make sure you connect, make sure you send this video for everyone who you think will benefit from. And also, if you are a nonprofit leader or you are thinking to become a nonprofit, to start a nonprofit, then I have the masterclass to how to get $10,000 for your nonprofit in 30 days. It's next week on Monday. And we always, if you're watching this later, we always like have new dates, but the sooner one like coming on next week. So it's totally free. We will put also the link below so you can join and learn more how to get money for your nonprofits. And make sure you put your questions here. And if you have more questions, like we will make sure like to get it to Jamison, and if necessary, if he agrees, like we can like come live again and talk to you, or he can just answer you personally. It depends on the situation. So make sure you put your question down below, and we will talk to you. We'll get your answer. Anything, Jamison, like you want to say before we end today's live, like you want people to know, or any
Yeah.
final words?
So I put this out there for anybody that's one of our plan participants, or if you are engaged in ministry, we offer to do full-blown financial planning for free for you, for your spouse, for your family. It's something we typically, if we get referred, we'll help anybody that is referred to us. We're referred to other professionals, and typically we charge about $2,500 for that financial plan. But if you are one of our plans participants, or if you are in ministry, but I also throw out there, if you reference this live video today, we will offer that as well. So we will do a full financial plan for you. We put it all together, we present it, and then we give it to you. And then you can take it, you can implement it on your own online, or go back to your current financial advisor. But that is something that we'd love to do for NORA's listeners and our plan participants, anyone in ministry. So thanks so much for having me today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your generosity. I appreciate the offer. Did you hear, guys? So reference this video to get your free financial plan. Thank you so much, Jamison. Thank you for everything you're doing, and thank you for being here today. I'm really grateful that you agreed to be on to educate people, and we will talk to you soon, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay, I'm not sure how to end this.